Yo. Good evening, everyone. We got Carrie Underwood on the TV. Must be Sunday night. Football is here. Bengals fans, hard day today. Hard game to watch, but appreciate you tuning in anyway for some Sunday night football. Cheers, everybody. Oh, drop a like if you're watching. Pop into the chat. Let me know who's watching with us. We got Todd Gottschall liking the video. Appreciate you, Todd. Thanks for stopping by. Oh man, what a day! What a day of football. A lot of wild endings in that late PM slot, that 4 o'clock slot. And we'll go over all those games. First, most pressing thing that we need to talk about right now is in regards to the Indianapolis Colts. Carson Wentz, if you didn't see this, Carson Wentz went down in the fourth quarter with what appeared to be an ankle injury, and as reported as about looking at about 5:30 tonight, it's reported that Carson Wentz will undergo further evaluation on his right ankle after injuring it in the fourth quarter. This is as per ESPN. Suffered the injuries. He tried to scramble, was taken to the ground by the Rams' Aaron Donald. Let's see here. Looks like it was pretty nasty twist. Rolled up on it pretty bad. Quote Frank Reich, head coach of the Indianapolis Colts. Ryan Crash, thanks for liking the video, buddy. Wentz clearly frustrated. Said he felt it right away. Tried to tape it up. Everything he could do to finish the game. Said he's probably sprained his ankle 100 times since he was a kid. This one he just couldn't play on it. So gonna get some further evaluation. Absolutely not what you want to hear if you are an Indianapolis Colts fan. Obviously Wentz with some previous injury history back in Philadelphia, but not what you want to hear. Final score to that game, if you were wondering, the Rams did edge out the Colts 27-24. Todd, Bobby, if you're watching, pretty sure I took the Rams on that one. So for our pick 'em, we might have all taken them. I'm not sure, but anyway, they didn't cover though. It was Los Angeles minus 3.5. So they didn't cover the spread on that one. So I did lose that bet. Anyway, Rams, Matt Stafford moving on to 2-0. So for the foreseeable future, Josh, I know, buddy, I'm sorry. I feel so bad for Colts fans right now. But anyway, for the near future, it looks like Jacob Eason's going to be the guy. Going to be your quarterback, and he got a good amount of playing time in the preseason. So it'll be interesting to see, if he gets that start next week. The Colts next week. Who are they taking on? Let's take a gander here. To Bruce with the like there. Appreciate it, Bruce. Crash with a comment here. So I'm curious your views on transition to the NFL, what he's done so far. I personally think they're not utilizing the run game whatsoever, letting Lawrence just air it out way too much. So I did not see the Jaguars game. I didn't really follow it too closely, but I'll pull up this stat sheet here and give a 30,000-foot view. Colts are going to be playing the Titans next week. So with that said, not the easiest test going against the Titans in Tennessee, particularly when you look at the game that Derrick Henry had, at least going into the second half of that game, as the Titans did. I believe they did lose to the Seahawks. Let me pull that up. Oh, they won. I'm sorry. In overtime, the Titans did win. I'm sorry. Just to give you some, I'm going against Derrick Henry in my fantasy league right now, so I'm not enjoying the 50 points that he's putting up. 35 carries, 182 yards, 3 touchdowns, the longest rush of 60 yards. So not getting any easier for the Colts. Yeah, Josh with the comment here, going to be tough next week. Bullock with the game-winning field goal. Yeah, that is something, huh? Randy Bullock, 4 of 5. Longest of 30 was 36 yards. So yeah, that sounds like about Randy Bullock's range. Evan McPherson, on the other hand, we'll get to the Bengals a little bit later, but Evan McPherson, on the other hand, um, dropped out like a 53-yarder again today. The guy's got a leg. Big Kick Mick, as we call him on this show. So, Cratch, I do want to, Ryan, I do want to get into your question here. Let's take a look at the box score here. Just getting a kind of a perception. 16 total carries for Jacksonville's entire rush um, effort. That said, only 33 throws for Trevor Lawrence. Now, 33 isn't a low number, but it's not a crazy high number either. Once you start getting to those high 40s, 50s, we even saw Joe Burrow creep into the 60s last year for pass attempts, and that's too much. That's too. You're just putting the quarterback at risk. But 33 attempts isn't crazy. Um, I do want to kind of get a. Let's see here. Let's take a look at. I want to get an idea as to how points were scored. So it looks like they were actually up at the end of the first quarter, down 3, 10-7 at halftime. And then at that point, the Broncos put another 10 on them. So at that point, the Broncos are up 20-7. I mean, going into the fourth quarter, you need to start throwing. You need to be able to throw the football. I like James Robinson. I like the running back for the Jaguars, but do I think that he should be the offense? No, I do think it should be Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he's going to be you drafted him number 1 overall for a reason, and Trevor Lawrence is going to be where that offense runs through. So it doesn't, just from a stat line perspective, maybe situationally, you could say that they should have run the ball in different areas. And again, I just have to watch the game to actually have seen that. Looks like we are moments away from kickoff here in Baltimore. Going over some other scores for teams that we don't necessarily cover. But just to give you updates, the Browns edged out the Texans in what was way, way too close of a game, in my opinion. Jarvis Landry, I think, went down with an injury, if I saw, for the Cleveland Browns, leaving them pretty sparse at the wide receiver room in a position that you would normally, at the beginning of the year, you're saying that the Browns have an amazing wide receiver core with OBJ and Landry out. That's not necessarily the case any longer. Donovan Peoples-Jones is a second-year player out of Michigan. I think he is, likely going to be one of their primary targets, if I'm not mistaken. Todd with a comment here. Trevor had very limited time to throw for what it's worth. He looked visibly frustrated today. Tyrod went down with a hammy injury today as well. That was for the Texans, and what I noticed, Todd, is I was watching that game from afar, and what I mean by that, I was following closely on my phone, just with divisional interest, and kickoff underway here in Baltimore, and it's a touchback, shocker. Divisional interest with the Browns, and that it was a close game. I was kind of following, and then I noticed that once Tyrod went down, the Browns kind of edged it out. I saw who the backup was, but I couldn't tell you now off the top of my head because I didn't even recognize the name at the time. Josh Wheeler, Tyrod with terrible luck. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. So what's good? I mean, a lot of the pundits have been talking about, okay, for this game here tonight, that the Ravens are basically going to try and pressure Patrick Mahomes. Chiefs are going to eat it up and then light them up on the scoreboard. Makes sense to me. I don't. I think just with all of these injuries, and we talked about it on Rally Towel Sports the other night that, um, you know, the Ravens, their roster right now is kind of a shell of what it was coming into the season. And I don't. I'd like to say that this is going to be a competitive game, but I got the Chiefs running away with it eventually. So we'll see what happens here. A couple of comments rolling in. Appreciate you guys jumping in the chat. Ducklow, what's up, buddy? Mills from Stanford is the quarterback that replaced Tyrod Taylor. Lamar Jackson just not even remotely close on that deep ball there. Was that Hollywood Brown that he was trying to connect with? I didn't see. So with that, as a comment from Ryan. So with that, maybe 5 rushes going into the half. After Robinson's last year, you would like to think they would try and slow the game down for him and do more play action. Last week, going halfway into the second, I haven't been in a quarter rush yet. So yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense to me, especially if you have a bad offensive line, which Todd had indicated. Um, you know, the best way to relieve pressure is to make them respect the run game, and then you get that play action. Um, so yeah, I think that makes a hell of a lot of sense. If you're telling me that didn't come out, oh, intercepted. Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, looks like it could be a pick six for the Chiefs, and it is. Wow, just like that, just like that. I took the Chiefs minus 3.5 tonight for all you degenerates out there. And with that, I'm going to enjoy a little treat. Got some little Reese's mini cups. Enjoy a little treat. Anytime the Ravens get scored on. Beautiful. Chiefs are going to be up 7-0, and Patrick Mahomes hasn't even touched the ball yet. Gotta love it. Wow. Somebody else threw a pick six today. Oh, off the posted in there from Harry Butt. Harrison Butker. Um, Another person threw a pick six today. Somebody close to my heart, Mr. Joseph Lee Burrow. Was it Joseph Lee? I think it's Joseph Lee. Anyway, yeah, that was a little brutal, Bengals fans. Um, I from the start, the main thing that you noticed when watching this game versus watching the game last week was the empty sets that the Bengals lined up with on the drive, on almost every drive, particularly at the beginning of the game. The empty set, and what I mean by that is no running back in the backfield with Joe Burrow spreading it out. Apologies, spreading it out 4 or 5 wide. Um, obviously going to throw the ball, which Joe Burrow does prefer that. Joe likes to spread the wide receivers out and um, kind of get a better read on the defense that way. That said, when you do that and you don't have a top tier offensive line or even a above average offensive line, the defense knows that you're going to be going for those intermediate routes, those little slant routes, 4 to 7 yard pass routes. They don't have to respect the deep ball anymore. Why is that? Because you have no one there to pass protect. So you only have 5 guys in to pass protect. That means that the defense, hypothetically could rush 4 and drop 7 into coverage, or even rush 5 drops if they wanted to, but because they feel that they can get home on a limited pass rush. What I mean by that, they can get to the quarterback on a limited pass rush. So if they are only bringing 4 pass rushers, and the Bears have a formidable pass rush, they have a good defensive line. Khalil Mack got his first sack of the year against the Bengals today. So when you don't have an above average offensive line, the defensive line feels like they can get home to the quarterback by only using their 4 down linemen as rushers. You're going to create, a small window of success that you can go out and get, and that's why you didn't see a lot of the deep balls because they didn't respect it. They didn't have any concern on the deep ball. The coverage was there because they didn't have to bring a lot of down linemen. There's no pass protection in the backfield to help Joe other than the linemen up front. A couple of comments rolling in here. Pat Mahomes on the sideline, not even having to break a sweat and still winning. Exactly. Ravens got a first down here at the 36. And Lamar Jackson, who I'm going against in one of my fantasy leagues as well. And he's the last guy that my opponent has yet to go. He's sitting at a negative 2.2 right now, so that's awesome. I got Aaron Jones going tomorrow, as well as the Packers defense against our Detroit Lions. Another comment here from Todd. Do you think the O-line performance was better, worse, or the same? I think it was the same. I think they gave up 5 sacks against the Vikings. I think they gave up 5 sacks today. The difference is the offensive scheme. Ravens moving the ball. The offensive scheme was completely different today. There was not as much of an emphasis on coming into keeping someone in the backfield to help protect Joe. There was not. It was empty sets. There was no one that they needed. When you do that, when you bring somebody in the backfield, like a running back into the backfield, you make the defense load one more guy into the box, into the tackle box. You make wide open hole. Could be taking it to the house here. Down to like the 10-yard line are the Ravens. You bring that running back into the box. You make them respect the run. You give them that little play, and you even saw them doing this and having success with it. They being the Bengals, that little play action kind of. You just give them a little bit, and the linebackers take one step forward, and then that opens up a nice seam between the linebackers and the safeties. And when you have a talented passer like Joe Burrow, he's going to make those throws more often than not. Now, Joe had a couple of bad throws today. A couple of really bad throws. One intercepted by the linebacker. He didn't even see him. There's no way he saw him, or he wouldn't have thrown that football. Ravens coming in. Oh, fumble! Recovered, touchdown! Oh my God, what a fantasy, just nightmare. Oh my God. If you have Williams for the Ravens, can we get a wellness check on all our friends that have Williams for their starting running back? Because he literally just fumbled at the goal line and then got his touchdown absolutely poached by his teammate. I mean, good on his teammate to grab that one and put it in there, but whew, wow. And then the second interception, I know Joe had 3, but the second one, it was off to the sideline, left sideline, and just didn't fire it in there hard enough. And the defender had his eyes on him the whole time, knew exactly when he was making the throw, undercut the route, and picked it off. The third one, I'm not putting on Joe. I'm putting that on offensive line. I'm putting that on Zach Taylor on scheming, the whole 9 yards. That just having that guy in his face. He's trying to make a play. He's just throwing 2 interceptions. He's pressing. I'm not putting that one necessarily on him, but the first 2 are pretty bad. And then he follows it up with 2 touchdown passes, one to Ja'Marr Chase and one to Ja'Marr Chase and one to T. Higgins. Followed right there, but look what happens when you start taking deep shots down the field. You have success. This little intermediate, 3 to 6 yard passing game it's not going to cut it. It's not what you need to do. Let's see. Ryan with a comment here. Lamar's OT fumble gave me the W last week. Such a close game. I hope that happens tonight. Ryan saying, I'm going to need to turn you off. Peacock TV is way delayed. It sounds like you have a problem with Peacock, not Line to Gain. Okay? Todd, 2/3 of the picks felt like Burrow's. He didn't hit his target hard and low enough on the sideline. Third was a fluke. Yeah, exactly. Oh, those gold tops are going down a lot smoother than I thought they would tonight. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Not really, but if Miller Lite would like to sponsor me at any time, I'm not going to stop them. Also, Gatorade. Mixon had about 70 yards on the ground today. Good outing from Mixon. Um, the defense played relatively well. Hey, Mama. Thanks for liking the video. Um, Defense played okay. No, the one issue I will take with the defense is no pressure on at least on Dalton to start the game. Come out and hit him in the mouth. Like, come out and try to get pressure on him. I mean, the guy could have filed his taxes sitting back in the pocket. Um, Absolutely no pressure. So that is my one issue. But overall, it's just the offensive game plan. I was excited at first when they started coming out because I was like, oh, they're going to let Joe throw a lot more today. And then when I started to see that as the empty set, dink and dunk kind of passing, that's just that's not what we need. We need to be able to air the ball downfield, um, run play action to open up deep shots, down the field. So when you come out an empty set, you take away all illusion. When you don't have an offensive line that the defense needs to respect, oh my God, what a shot. I don't know if you guys saw this on the sky cam, but whoo, homeboy just got absolutely murked. And here comes Kermit the Frog, also known as Mr. Ketchup on Steak, Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, Lamar Jackson is still sitting at minus 2.2 in my league right now. And my mom's with a comment here, no hurry up offense at the end either. There were a couple of those timeouts that I would have probably saved as well. When Zach used them. Also, no challenge on the Joe Mixon run, where he was ruled down in the backfield. Clearly was not. No challenge there. So yeah, this loss goes on Zach Taylor, in my opinion. Joe Burrow made a couple of bad throws, but at the end of the day, the scheming the offensive game plan was not there. It didn't match up with the success that we had against Minnesota. And I get it, Minnesota and the Bears aren't the same team, but when your offense, you don't necessarily scheme against the defense as much. You want the defense scheming to you, right? So I think you should go out there and run your offense and make them change, and then you make adjustments throughout the game. That's not what we did today. It was pretty frustrating, particularly with the success that we had. Now looking forward for the Bengals. Next week, you've got the Steelers at Heinz Field. The Steelers lost today to the Raiders, which means that regardless of the outcome of this game tonight, being that the Ravens have already lost a game, the Bengals will still be tied for first place in the division at 1-1. The Browns are 1-1. The Bengals are 1-1. The Steelers are 1-1. The Ravens have an opportunity to go 1-1 should they beat the Chiefs tonight. And Chiefs are just taking what the Ravens are giving them here. Looks like a little 7-8 yard completion there to Tyreek for Patrick Mahomes. Let's see here. How do you feel about Zach Taylor? Should they kept him going into this year? Absolutely. I think 2 years is too little time, particularly when you have a rookie quarterback that got hurt, 10 and a half games into the season. And when you have a pandemic year where your rookie quarterback basically had to prove himself to his teammates via Zoom conference meeting. What a ridiculous play by Patrick Mahomes there. Travis Kelce, the UC product, getting out there and blocking. but yeah, I think this is kind of the so here's my benchmark for Zach Taylor this year. 7 wins is the floor. Like you have to win at least 7 games. If he doesn't win 7 games, he needs to be fired. That's my opinion. My highest expectation of them would be to win 10 games. So where do you go from here going forward? You got the Steelers. You've got the Jags on Thursday Night Football. September 30th, we'll be doing another dual stream with Rally Towel Sports. Myself, Todd, and Bobby. It will be, if I'm not mistaken, it will be a tri-state broadcast, as I will be here in Michigan, Bobby will be in Ohio, and I believe Todd is going to be in West Virginia. God bless him. And I hope he has internet signal out there, but but that should be a really good time. We are also going to be raising money for the Covenant House of Michigan, and the event is on the Facebook page, on the Line to Gain Facebook page. So check that out. Chiefs offense, finely tuned machine as expected against the Ravens right here. So you got the Steelers, Jags, and then the Lions to finish out your first 5 games for the Bengals. I had said that you have to go above 500 on that. I mean, obviously you can't go 500 in 5 games, but you need to win 3 of those games, is what I had said. The games that I had thought that they could have lost would have been Minnesota and Pittsburgh were the games that I thought that there's a high likelihood that they would lose. I had them winning Chicago, and I have them beating the Jaguars and beating the Lions in week 5. So you won the one that you might have lost against Minnesota. You lost one that you should have won, against the Bears. And now you've got the Steelers, Jags, and Lions. You need to go 2-1 in those next 3 games. The schedule doesn't get any easier if you're the Bengals. So I think if they can come out 3-2 out of the first 5 games, I'm feeling good. There'd be 12 more games to go. Do a quick math in my head there. 12 more games to go. And I like the odds of them going, about 500 for the rest of the year from there, which would put them somewhere in that like 7 to 9 win. Bomb. Ooh, he juggled it a little bit. Did Robinson? Did he pull it in? They're calling it a touchdown for the Chiefs. We're going to have to take a look at this one. Did I have the Chiefs tonight? Yes, I did. I have the Chiefs. I actually put money on the Chiefs -3.5. I just missed this replay. Looks like a just absolute laser on her. He was wide open. Kind of threw it behind him there. No review needed. Harry Butt with the PAT. All right, Chiefs score. Time for a treat. Todd praying that the Hilton can manage a podcast. I think you'll be all right, buddy. Now, is it a Hilton Garden Inn, or are we at a Hilton? Because you fancy. I need to know. My biggest busts today or this week so far in fantasy, I would have to say Nelson Aguilar for the Patriots right now. It's probably my biggest bust right now. Homeboy put up 18 against the Dolphins. And then they have the Jets this week. Put up 18 against the Dolphins, 5 points against the Jets. Come on. What is that? One of those teams is far more superior than the other. Todd, it's most definitely a Hampton Inn. It's West Virginia. That's when you said Hilton. I mean, I get it. It's owned by Hilton. But you said it was a Hilton. I was like, where in the fuck in West Virginia is there a Hilton? Sorry. to our viewers in West Virginia. It's a beautiful state. I've had a great time there before. At the New River, whitewater rafting, ATV riding. Can have a lot of fun in West Virginia. I only kid. Let's see, what other games do we touch on? I mean, Titans kind of screwed me over in my confidence pool. I put a 12 on the Seahawks. The Titans, with that comeback victory there, Derrick Henry, I mean, wow. Tannehill, 27 of 40, 40 throws for, so Cratch, that's too many. But that's their offense at the same time. 40 throws, 347 yards. Derrick Henry, 35 carries, 182 yards, 3 touchdowns. Julio making a splash with 6 catches, 128 yards. I think he had a touchdown too. Didn't he have a touchdown? Oh, I guess not. I must be mistaken. Maybe they took it off the board or something. But I thought I saw Julio catch a touchdown. West Virginia, worst public schools and cheapest cars. Is that what they have on their license plates? Let's see here. Bills absolutely scorched the Dolphins after coming out flat last week. Did the Bills? They when they got beat by the Steelers in an upset, 23-16. They came out this week, just ran over the Dolphins, 35-0. I had said on Rally Top Sports, I said that watch out. I have more confidence in this Miami defense than a lot of people think. And then the Bills just come out and put 35 on them, and the Bills defense looked good, blanking Miami. Stat line here: Josh Allen, 17 of 33, 179 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. And Devin Singletary, 13 carries for 82 yards and a touch. Jacoby Brissett, because Tua was carted off, if I'm not mistaken. Tua Tagovailoa, he was carted off, which if you're a Dolphins fan, you're just like, come on, man. At this point, how much longer does that go? I feel bad for him because, like, he didn't do anything wrong, but, he's been getting hurt lately. But how much longer, if you're a Dolphins fan, where are you at on that? Todd, you read? Yeah, Todd's reading my mind here. Jacoby Brissett, 24 of 40 for 169 yards and an interception. Jalen Waddle, rookie receiver, 3 catches for 48 yards. Don't want to go too much into the Dolphins there, but a little stat line on the Bills. So, the Bills bounce back, get back to 500. Next week for the Buffalo Bills, they play the Washington football team. And then they got the Texans. So I could see them winning both of those games based on the way that that Washington played against the Giants. Yeah, I could see him winning both of those. Josh saying no touchdown. His heel was on the line for the Julio one. Okay. I thought I'd seen him get close to getting one. Brissett's time to shine. Is there a report? Let's see if there's a report on Tua. It was a rib injury. Let's see. Indicated he's hopeful Tua can play next Sunday against the Raiders. This is according to Cameron Wolf, the NFL Network. But he's going to go and undergo some tests for his ribs, and we'll see. So we'll see what happens there. Lot of Lamar running going on here, which to be expected. I think that's got to say something for Lamar, though. It's like if he's already going to run a lot, and he's still able to get that outside edge. Here he goes again. I mean, you just go out of bounds, son. What are you doing? What are you doing? Couple of comments here. Todd saying, if you're a Dolphins fan, you expect it. Tua wasn't healthy in college. It's unfortunate, but it's football. Yeah, and that was the biggest question mark, right? Is Tua coming into the draft? Was the health concern. That was the biggest reason for me why I wanted Burrow instead of Tua. And I just thought Burrow was cooler. But, so yeah, I mean, yeah, that makes, it is what it is, but now you just don't want to get stuck in that like QB purgatory kind of thing. Wow, wide open running holes here for the Ravens. Ryan with a comment. Well, Jags first week against Houston, he threw 51 attempts last week. Okay, they were playing from behind, but like I said, it was not a recorded rush until midway into the second quarter. Yeah, I think that's. I mean, so yeah, okay. So more thoughts about Urban in the NFL. I think it's too early to say anything. I mean, turn an NFL franchise around. That there's a lot to say about turning an NFL franchise around because I mean I think if I'm not mistaken the Jaguars were in the AFC Championship game like 4 years ago. So I don't have a whole lot of sympathy for Jaguars fans like you've been through hell or something like that. But but um, I mean, it's just too early to tell. You got to give the guy time. You're gonna have to give him multiple years of time. This isn't gonna be just a come in and he's gonna fix everything and change the entire culture. There's a reason that the Jaguars had the number one overall pick. That's because they sucked. Same thing with the Bengals a couple of years ago. There's a reason we had the fifth pick. It's because we weren't a good football team. I think we were better than the fifth pick. Um, because just based on Burrow getting hurt, you could surmise that we probably would have won one or two more games, but we're still not even top half in the league. So it's going to take a lot of time because there's a lot of things wrong with your football team that not just putting in a head coach and drafting a rookie quarterback are going to fix in a year's time. So um, I'm not even ready to pass judgment on Urban Meyer yet. I think he is a person that has been successful in almost every single aspect of football that he has touched. At Bowling Green State University, undefeated season. Looks like Lamar was just intercepted again by the Honey Badger. How far is he going to go on this one? Wow. Good day to be playing against Lamar Jackson in fantasy football. Your concern is that he's not going to stick around, that Urban Meyer is going to go somewhere else. Maybe. I mean, he's done that to just about every single place he's been involved in. Gotten what he wanted and moved on. Bowling Green, he left Bowling Green. He talked a lot about building something there. Left for Utah, which I get it. I went to Utah, went undefeated, and left Utah for the University of Florida. An upgrade. Went to Florida, brought them back, won 2 national championships. Claimed he was having heart issues. Jim Tressel steps down. 1 year goes by and Urban Meyer decides he's going to come back and coach the Buckeyes. So yeah, I mean he has a track record of doing that. So are you willing to take a few years of winning, knowing that your coach might be gone in the next 5-7 years? I would. Where is that going to leave your team after that is the question. In college, it's different. In college, you have to recruit. When you have that lapse or that change it really sets a program back. I mean, look at Michigan State. I'm getting off topic here, but look at Michigan State. When D'Antonio left Michigan State, he did it in February. Most coaching changes happen in like, I don't know, immediately after the season. And what that does is allows the incoming coach to hire appropriate staff to recruit for that upcoming signing day. Mel Tucker didn't have an opportunity to do any of that. So he set, Mark D'Antonio set Michigan State back quite a bit by doing that. Now Michigan State just went down to Miami and beat a ranked opponent on the road, so hats off to them. But it's not the same in the NFL. You have guys on salary, like they are your employees. And so, a coaching change, if a coach just decides to leave, it's just different. It's not the same as in college. It wouldn't hurt you as bad. So I wouldn't worry about that as much if I'm a Jaguars fan. I just wouldn't worry about, Urban just like not caring anymore one day and just leaving. Because, I mean, you're going to find somebody else to fill that job. And there's plenty of qualified people to do it. There's only 32 of those jobs available on the planet. There's plenty of qualified people to fill it. Appreciate everybody jumping in the chat, saying hello. If you're not already following Line to Game, please do so. If you're not following Rally Towel Sports, please do so. Like I mentioned, on September 30th, we are going to be having a dual stream for the Jaguars-Bengals Thursday night game. It should be a blast. A couple other scores here. So I get it out of the Bills schedule here on my phone. Patriots. Patriots Jets game. This is hilarious. I had said that there's one quarterback in this recent draft that I didn't trust the most. And God, it feels, snap over the head of Patrick Mahomes. He tries to pick it up. He throws it. Could be a fumble. Looks like a forward pass, though. Could be intentional grounding. He's going to be down where he threw the ball. Oh, my God. This is going to be like a 20-yard loss for the Chiefs here. Exactly what the Ravens needed. See if we get the call here. Yep, intentional grounding. Loss of down and spot of the foul. So going into the draft, there were a couple of quarterbacks that I really liked, but one that I didn't like, and it feels really good to be right. It's only been 2 games. It's not fair to just throw this kid under the bus already, but it was definitely inside the tackle box still. That's intentional grounding. And that was Mac Jones. Excuse me, not Mac Jones. Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, I was not. One of the reasons for that was I don't trust anything the New York Jets as an organization decide to do. I don't trust anything that they do because they're just a poorly run organization. I don't know what to say. But Zach Wilson today, 19 of 33 for 210 yards, 4 interceptions. Now my boy Joe Burrow had 3. I get it. He had 2, really. So what I mean by that is I don't know if all 4 were necessarily on Zach Wilson. I didn't watch it because I'm not going to watch the Jets and the Patriots. But just seems really poor from that view. Anyway, Patriots beat the Jets 25-6. Got that one right as well. So for my picks, I did take the Bengals, so I didn't get that one right. I did take the Browns. I took the Rams. I took the Bills. Took the Patriots. Took the 49ers, who beat the Eagles today 17-11. Bobby's boy, Bobby from Rally Tile Sports, his boy, Jalen Hurts, 12 of 23, 190 yards. One of which was like a 91-yard pass. I think he had a 91-yard pass today. Pretty amazing. I did take the Niners on that one. 26-17, Raiders over the Steelers. I took the Steelers on that, so I was wrong there. Saints getting ran over by the Panthers. Panthers look great. Sam Darnold, another guy who I said at the beginning of the year, I said, watch out, Sam Darnold could be back. Sam Darnold, 26 of 38, 305 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. Pretty good from Sam for a guy that said, they said that he couldn't do it. I didn't like Sam Darnold coming out of college. I'll be fair and admit that I'm not a fan, but him coming to this new scheme in Carolina, under Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator there, and Matt Rule, head coach, I felt like there could be some success. Todd with a comment here. The Jets are following course from the previous decade. Zach Wilson didn't look great, but it's hard to give a good grade when you're watching a dumpster fire. Makes sense. Broncos over the Jaguars, 23-13. I took the Broncos in that one. Cardinals squeak out a win over the Vikings. The Vikings missed what I believe to have been like a 33-yard field goal by about a foot to the right. 3rd and a mile for the Chiefs. A little dink and dunk. Give the punter some room and move on with your day. Yeah, so Vikings saved me there. I took the Cardinals big in my pool. And yeah, Cardinals ended up winning that one. Couple of comments here. Todd saying Bobby has a Sunday ticket, so I watched a lot of football today. I have the Sunday ticket too. It's mostly just so I can guarantee I'm going to watch the Bengals. But I was corralling both of my 3-year-old daughters today while they decided to raise hell. And they had zero interest in listening to Daddy today. So that was fun. I got to keep telling myself I'm going to miss these days one time. There's going to be a day where I'm going to want this. Just get my Trace Atkins on. And Ryan, having McCaffrey has really helped Sam as well. Couldn't hurt. Todd, yeah, but being a dad is the greatest. It is the greatest. Ryan, hey, my 2-year-old did the same thing today. Weird. Once they get to that age of 2 years old, they know everything already. They're smartest, apparently. Because right when after I finished talking, they're just like, no. So that's fun. Feels good. Anyway, it was fun. And Bucks over the Falcons. This final score 48-25. It wasn't. I feel like it was a lot closer when I was following it on my phone. I think there was like 3 minutes left and it was tied, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, that was my survivor pick of the week in my survivor league. So I survived. Moving on to the next round there, as the Buccaneers handled the Falcons 48-25. Falcons tied for first overall pick right now at 0-2. Fun fact: no team that went 0-2 last year made the playoffs. Typically 0-3, and there's one extra game this year, so take that with a grain of salt. 3rd and 3, not going to get it. 4th down coming up for the Ravens. Doesn't look like they're going to go for it. I only mention that because John Harbaugh goes for it all the time on 4th down, but this one probably wouldn't make sense. Ryan, OMG, I would have killed to see this game and what happened. I think you're talking about Falcons. Cowboys Chargers. Cowboys squeak out a win with a Legatron kick, 20-17 over the Chargers. Both teams now 1-1. Justin Herbert, 31 of 41, 338 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Bobby's boyfriend, Dak Prescott, 23 of 27, 237 yards and an interception. Zeke. What did Zeke do? Oh, he wasn't even the leading rusher for the Cowboys. Ezekiel Elliott had 16 carries for 71 yards. Ezekiel Elliott had 26 receiving yards. So, Todd, you do not owe Bobby a six-pack yet. In fact, you are one game away from getting a six-pack yourself, sir. For those of you that don't know, I believe the bet was 125 all-purpose yards for Zeke, either this week or next, was the bet made between Bobby and Todd. All right, so I'm liking the Chiefs. I'm liking the Chiefs minus 3.5 right now. I'm liking that a lot. In fact, the line has moved out to minus 8.5 for the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know if I like that. What I really do like is tomorrow. Lions plus 12.5. Now, don't get me wrong. I in no way think the Lions are going to win. I have the Packers winning that game handedly. But I think that the Lions can cover 12.5 points. 12.5 is a massive spread in the NFL. Let's look at some of the games from today. Bengals lose to the Bears by 3. Texans lose to the Browns by 10. Rams over the Colts by 3. Well, the Bills did beat the Dolphins by 35. Patriots beat the Jets by 19. Niners over the Eagles by 6. Raiders over the Steelers by 9. Panthers 19 points over the Saints. Jaguars 10 over the Broncos by 10 over the Jags. Cardinals by 1. Okay, Buccaneers did win by 23. Excuse me, that math's asinine. Apologies. Yeah, 23. No, I was right. Sorry. Trust yourself, Corey. Cowboys by 3 over the Chargers, and the Titans by 3 over the Seahawks. And Washington beat the Giants by 1 point. So there's a couple big blowouts there. But more often than not, what you see is that NFL games are within 10 points. Another thing is that last week the Lions were 8.5 point dogs, I think. I think it was an 8.5 point underdog against Travis Kelce with a nice catch there, first down for the Chiefs. But I think it was like an 8.5 point underdog were the Lions. And that game wasn't close. The Niners had that game the whole time. But by the end of it, the Lions fought back, got garbage time points, and ended up covering the spread. So what I'm probably going to do is see where the money goes tomorrow. We'll see how we do on this 3.5 point spread bet. And then See if we feel comfortable taking the Lions, home dogs and the points. It's typically a good bet. Home dogs and the points. But I think I did pretty well, Todd. If you're still watching, Todd, I think I did pretty well on our pick'em, which means you did pretty well on our pick'em. I think we were pretty aligned on most picks, which means our boy Bob did not. He was dissenting from the ranks quite a bit. So let's see. I think we got. I don't anticipate doing the stream. Yeah, there we go. I was just about to get into college, Todd. Good call. I don't anticipate doing the stream for the full game tonight. I don't have that kind of bandwidth going in my brain. But Gators versus Bama. If you didn't catch it, Florida really played a really tough game against Alabama at home in the Swamp. And to be honest with you, I thought Florida played a great game. I thought they did a really good job. I mean, I was happy that it was a competitive game. They didn't get pushed around like Bama normally does to almost everybody that they play. Um, so yeah, I was very very happy with that. So the one thing I am not happy about though is that they didn't move in the rankings in any way. I think that Florida proved that they are a better than 11th ranked team in the country. As I look at it right now, Ohio State is 10th. I think Florida's better than Ohio State as Lola jumps into the background here. Lois. And yeah. Yeah, I think that they prove that I think Florida versus Georgia is going to be a very good football game. I think Florida is a very hard rushing team, as is Georgia, and I think it's just going to be fun to watch that defense against that rushing attack. AP poll might be the biggest hoax in sports. Yeah, 3-0 Bearcats, sitting back at 8th. Clemson's at 9th, Ohio State at 10th. Let's see here. BYU moved up 8 slots. And then who'd they play last night? I was watching that game. It was Arizona State. I think it was BYU as Arizona State. So that was back-to-back ranked wins for BYU. New addition to the Big 12 there. Michigan State and Michigan. Well, Michigan was, I think, ranked 25th, and now they are ranked 19th. They absolutely blew out NIU. And Michigan State went on the road into Miami, who I believe Miami was ranked 19th or something like that. And Michigan State handed them a loss. It was a close game, but Michigan State was in control for the whole. I think they led the whole game, if I'm not mistaken. UCLA is still ranked, and that is absolutely horseshit. I don't understand how UCLA can still be ranked. What? Because they beat a comatose to LSU team? I don't understand why UCLA is ranked, other than the fact that they reside within the city limits of Los Angeles. Ducklow, UC played a lot like the Bengals today. So yeah, Todd, I don't know what your thoughts were on the Florida Georgia or Florida Bama game, but I was happy with the way they played. I didn't expect them to win. I bet on them to cover, and they did. It's like I got them at like 14.5 points. Um, so they played really hard. Bama's a really good football team. Maybe if we get another shot at them in Atlanta, we might be able to win that one. But yeah, you got to get through Georgia first. You got Georgia At the beginning of the year, I circled the Bama, Georgia, and LSU as the big games. Anymore, LSU is probably just a trap game. Um, Georgia's the real test. Is the last real test that Florida has on the schedule. So I'd say if they can go 11-1, beat Georgia, get back, play Bama, beat them. I think you can feel good about that. You get in the playoff, compete for the national championship. But I mean, I don't know. There's not many teams I'd put ahead of Florida right now, in my opinion. I think Florida, Georgia, and Bama. I don't understand why they're not ranked. Like why Florida isn't ranked higher. I just don't get it. They're the only team to hang with Bama in the last like 5 years. It doesn't make any sense. At least in the regular season. Obviously, Clemson smacked them in the mouth 3 years ago, but I don't know. Mm-mm-mm. Any big college football games coming up? We got a barn burner at Fresno State hosting UNLV. Georgia with a cakewalk against Vanderbilt. Penn State playing Villanova's basketball team. Notre Dame, Wisconsin at noon in Madison. That'll be a good game. Texas A&M versus Arkansas. Michigan hosting an improving but still shit team in Rutgers. Michigan hasn't played a road game yet. This is going to be Michigan's fourth game and they haven't played on the road yet. It doesn't mean, and they haven't played anybody. They haven't played a school, like a respectable football game yet. Yet they're 19th. Laughable. Florida versus Rocky Top in the Swamp at 7 p.m. on ESPN. That should be fun. Michigan State playing Nebraska. State should smoke Nebraska. Alabama playing a really tough game against Southern Mississippi. Oklahoma, West Virginia. That's usually a really good game. Ohio State. You hardly handle. Was it Tulane that Ohio State played last week? Or you get last night? Tulsa. That game was too close for too long. Couple of comments I'm missing here. Sooners don't look top five. Nebraska played Sooner, played them super close. What do you think about UC and Notre Dame? 2 weeks out. I mean, Notre Dame's gotten a couple of, if I'm not mistaken, Notre Dame they almost lost to Florida State week one, if I'm not mistaken, and then who was it that they had a run with week two? Who was that? Let me pull that up. Oh yeah, Toledo. Fucking Toledo. Jesus Christ. They almost lost to Toledo. So I think I don't know. Notre Dame doesn't seem like I mean, I keep them at 12. They haven't lost. That said, they just went out and barely beat Purdue as well. I'd take UC, but UC needs to come out and play strong. They can't come out and just walk through that game. Chase with a comment. Chase, what's up, brother? How you doing? Rooting for UC. Or did they not impress me with that win? No, they didn't. They didn't. They should have. They should have beaten Indiana by a lot more. 38-24. But not only that, if you're looking at the recap of the game here, pull up the Indiana was up 7-0 after the first quarter. It was 14-10 at halftime. Indiana was up on the Bearcats. 24-23 going in the fourth quarter. And then the Bearcats shut them out in the fourth quarter and hung 15 on them to get out with the win. So, not what you wanted to see. If you wanted them to go, what's the town is it Bloomfield, Indiana? Where the fuck is that college? You wanted them to go in there and absolutely run over them, like you should do on a not ranked opponent. They didn't do it. That said, they won. So who do the Bearcats have coming up next? So they have a bye. That's crazy. They already have a bye, and then they get to prep for Notre Dame. So that's the Bearcats' next game. Bloomington. Thank you, Todd. So yeah, they're going into South Bend here in 2 weeks. They got a bye. That game's going to be awesome. So you got 2 weeks to prepare. Does Notre Dame have a bye as well? No, they got Wisconsin. So you could get a beaten up Notre Dame team, and UC could needs to be ready because this is the litmus test really. Like, are you legitimately a national like a national like a college football playoff contender? That's your litmus test. If you can beat Notre Dame in Notre Dame, I say yes. Notre Dame plays 5 teams coming off byes, 5 in a row. That's insane. I think they're going to lose against Wisconsin, personally. We'll see where the spread ends up. See if I throw some money on it. Yeah, yeah. Overall I was pretty busy on the golf course yesterday. I didn't get to watch a whole lot of college football. I was loosely following the Michigan State game once I finished up, and then obviously I was watching the Florida game up until the bitter end there. But I was happy with the way Florida played. I thought they did okay. That's the game of the week in college football. Notre Dame plays a barn burner with Wisconsin and isn't ready for UC to play fast. I think Wisconsin's going to beat them. This is based on who Notre Dame has played and how they have played them. They haven't played anybody good. Purdue's not good. Toledo's not good. Florida State's not good. I think Florida State just lost. Didn't they lose last night? I hope they did. Florida State lost to Wake Forest last night. Wake Forest. 35-14. Not even close. That is shoot, who's the head coach? Oh, he was at Bowling Green and now he's at Wake Forest. It is shoot. Can't remember. Dave Clawson? Is that it? I think it's Dave Clawson. Florida State lost to Jacksonville State. Deion Sanders. That's hilarious. Now, Jacksonville State, don't they also have like Warren Sapp on their like coach on their coaching staff? I think they have like a bunch of like old NFL players on their coaching staff, if I'm not mistaken. Ravens here looking to press the score, handed it off up the middle, legs churning, touchdown. Ravens tied it up with 3:21 to go. Okay, we got a football game, ladies and gentlemen. Kenzie Milton from CFU as their quarterback trying to make a comeback of the century. Yep, I remember. I remember watching the Notre Dame game, and I never root for Notre Dame, but I wanted them to beat Florida State because I don't like Florida State. But Mackenzie Milton, if I'm not mistaken, I was watching the UCF game, and didn't he like snap his leg in half or something like that? Like almost Alex Smith esque, like you might not walk again, or we're gonna take your leg, or stuff like that. And then he ends up playing football again. I think that was that cat. And did it happen in a bowl game too? I feel like it might have happened in a bowl game because it was like, oh man, he probably shouldn't even have been in this game, something like that. He almost died. Okay, so yeah, Alex Smith, like yeah, yeah, in a bowl game. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah. Yeah, I stopped playing football after I blew my knee out because we had only won a game that year. I was like, huh, not really gonna go do that again. And then Mackenzie Milton almost dies, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go play for Florida State. Even worse than playing for Fairfield. Thoughts on Herbert's progress call at end of game and Russell Wilson call pinning him down at the one. I don't know what you're talking about, Chase. On Herbert's progress call. Oh, it was like a forward progress call at the end of the game. Let me pull this up. Herbert's progress call. Let's see. The charges. I'd have to see it. Post a link in the chat. Todd with a comment. Fairfield lost the heart and soul of their offensive line with us throwing in the towel. Let's see. Okay, so I'm assuming what happened was post a link in the chat if you can find a video, so everybody can get on the same page here. It was kind of probably like they were backed up against their own end zone. Quarterback drops back, and then he's scrambling, gets tackled, and it looks like it's probably could have been a safety. Um, did Judging by the outcome of the game, was there a safety called? Let me see. Looks like there could have been because there was 8 points scored. But you're saying at the end of the game, so probably not. Yeah, I'd have to look at it. Not entirely sure. I'm sorry. I suck. And if it was a safety on Wilson, it doesn't matter. I mean, both of those guys ended up losing. So, if anything, it just helped people out in fantasy, extending the game. I guess. I don't know. Let's take a look here at my fantasy team, by the way. Lamar Jackson, he's only got 10.5 points right now. I like it. I like it a lot. So here's the call. All right. So basically, if Lamar Jackson doesn't put up like 18 points, I'm winning. Do I start Aaron Jones and then just put the Packers defense on my bench just like to be safe? Because that's who I got going on. I got Packers defense and Aaron Jones. Still play Aaron Jones. Score. You want to score some more points for position, right? Positioning. Like God forbid Aaron Jones like dies in the first half, and then the Packers defense gives me negative points and I lose. You get what I'm saying? I don't know if you guys have ever done that before in fantasy football, but it's a common strategy. If you already have a win locked up and you only have a defense left to play, just bench your defense. Don't play them. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that one. 2:17 left to go. Patty Mahomes in an empty set here. Over the middle, Travis Kelce, first down, out of bounds, clock stops. No, they got all timeouts and the 2-minute warning left. Too much time. Too much time for that Kermit the Frog sounding motherfucker. So we go to the 2-minute warning. That's right. If it's not under 2 minutes and he goes out of bounds on his own, it's not like the clock keeps running or something like that. Oh shit! Comments rolling in here. My bad. Same thing essentially happened to Wilson. Let's see. Down at the one, but they punted in overtime. I feel like you're still safe against it. They punted it in overtime because he was down at the one. I need to look at that to follow it better. My brain's shutting down Sunday night. Todd saying, I feel like you're still safe against the Lions. No way their offense scores garbage points 2 weeks in a row. See, I don't know. You do have to worry if your yardage given brings you down. No, we don't have that. We don't have penalties for giving up yards, but we do have bonuses for like if you. So your defense starts with 15 points in our league, and then if you give up less than 100 yards, you get 5 points. So technically, your defense starts with 20 points, right? Because at the start of the game, they've given up 0 yards and 0 points. Um, so if you hold them you basically get a 5 point kicker if you hold them, or a 5 point, addition if you hold them sub 100 yards. And I think there's 3 points for less than 200 total yards. How'd you guys do in fantasy this week? Let me know in the chat. Any players just absolutely grinding your gears? I'm gonna go grab another beer. Oh, you benched Ruggs, duck low. Damn. Had and played against Derrick Henry. Josh Allen has crushed my soul so far. Oh wow, oh my gosh. Chiefs down to the 20-yard line, a minute and 50. Might as well have a year. Landry getting hurt about killed me. See, I don't trust the Browns receivers anymore. I have never liked Jarvis Landry. Thought he's like one of the most overpaid wide receivers. He's a glorified running back. I'm sorry, but he is. What I mean by that is that most of his catches are like within 3 yards. And so in a PPR league, he's great, but I just stay away from him. I'm not sure what his injury ended up being like. So Steelers always messing with me. What do you mean? Do you have Juju? Ruggs is on the Raiders. Did you guys see that? I just spilled beer all over my face. Minute 45, 1st and 10 from the 20. Mahomes handoff. Is that Edwards-Helaire? Looks like, those legs just keep moving, man. Down to the 16-yard line. 2nd and 6 coming up for the Chiefs. Chiefs get the ball at halftime as well. We're going to finish this half. I'm going to finish this half with you guys. Probably end up calling it a night. Steelers D, thought would lock down the Raiders. Yeah. Now, Chase, if you're still in the chat, Chase, I know you're a Steelers fan. How did the Raiders pass rush look? Were they getting after Ben? Because that was one of the things I had talked about, particularly Max Crosby. I didn't know if you kid out of Eastern Michigan, if he was getting after. I mean, I can look it up, but if he was getting after Ben at all. Todd said he had the Steelers defense and special teams, and they crushed me. Derek Carr isn't good enough to be putting up those numbers. I agree. I don't like Derek Carr at all. He looks like you guys ever watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia? He looks like the Nightman. Touchdown Chiefs. Yeah. Who saw that coming? I was stuck at your dad's house watching the Bengals, unfortunately. I'm sorry you had to watch that. It's not like you would. I mean, you probably would have wanted to watch the Steelers still anyway. Chase, you can text me. I'll get you a website. Help you out next time you're at the old man's house. To watch football. That's what the website's for, Chase. All right, Herbert. Want to see this Raiders defense. So they did have 2 sacks. That's nothing crazy. They were both from Solomon Thomas, interior defensive lineman. Who's 25 years old. What a beast. Let's see here. Give you some of my fantasy blunders. So I did have Mike Evans decided to show the fuck up this week. He got me 22 and a half PPR league. Let's see some of his stats from today. 75 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns. Mike Evans on 9 targets. He had 5 catches. Finally. Glad to see him back in the offense. Joe Mixon with an abysmal 7.6. My newly acquired Chase Edmonds. Last week I traded Mike Williams for Chase Edmonds after I had some running back depth issues with Raheem Mostert going out again. I'm never, ever putting Raheem Mostert on my team. Ever again. Second year in a row that he has essentially gotten AIDS. So I traded Mike Williams for Chase Edmonds. Chase gave me 10. Let's see. Zach Moss on my fucking bench, 14 and a half points. He had 8 rushes, 26 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. So at least he's starting to. I was really concerned about Zach Moss after the first performance. I was like, is there a health thing going on there? But looks like he should be good. They got Washington, then they got Houston, KC, Tennessee. Not a super easy schedule, but down the stretch it gets a lot easier. Miami, Jacksonville, Jets, Indy, New Orleans. So I do have Devonta Freeman on my bench right now in one of my leagues. Crosby wasn't nearly in the backfield as much as I expected. Robert Woods make me nervous though. And getting a lot of production from Stratford. I think you mean Stafford. But yeah, I mean they've got a lot of weapons over there. But I think the reason you take Robert Woods on your team, and I have Matt Stafford and Robert Woods on my team. The reason you take Robert Woods on your team is because he's consistent. You're going to get about 10 points a week from him. Sometimes you'll get a little bit, those big blow up weeks. Sometimes you'll have a little bit, lower. On average, though, you can count on about 10 points a week from him. Pretty consistent. We call him Bobby Trees around these parts. Nice ball from Lamar. Great route there. Getting that leverage against that back, keeping the inside open. Then when you make your cut, there's nothing there but open space for Lamar to make a very easy throw. Another goddamn commercial. So I was going against who'd I go? Yeah, I went against Derrick Henry. We got 48 points in our other league, so that was awesome. And the Rams defense threw up 10. I'm projected to lose that game by 20. I basically need Aaron Jones to have a career night. My other league, I also have Aaron Jones and the Packers defense going. But I had Russell, give me 54 points. Quarterbacks in this league put up in my dynasty league are ridiculous though in terms of points. But I made it that way on purpose because quarterbacks are cool. A flag looks like we could have a false start. Yep, going against the Ravens. Dope. Austin Eckler putting up 22.5. T. Higgins with another strong outing, getting that late garbage time touchdown, 15 points. I guess it wasn't garbage time. It brought us within 3 at that point. I have Mecole Hardman on my bench right now. He's got 7.2 going. Kyle Pitts, I benched him after the first week. He only gave me 7 out of the flex. Threw up 12, so. But I should win this my dynasty league. It looks like I'm projected to win by about 30. So I'll be 2-0 in that league. Probably end up being 0-2 in the other league. We'll see. We'll see. Villanueva with the hold there. Steelers fan, you recognize him. I believe his name is it Alejandro Villanueva, I think is his name. He's a veteran as well. Yeah, just a blatant hold there. Look at this shit. Get the fuck down. Nice try, pal. It's Chiefs to get the ball at half. I'm feeling good about that -3.5 right now. Just probably going to let that ride for the rest of the night. Another timeout. 33 seconds. Good night, Duck Love. Thanks for coming. Like the video, share the video if you're stopping by. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight. I'm getting ready to call it. Yeah, I'm pretty much out of anything to talk about. So we're going to go ahead and call it here. About an hour and a half show. So I appreciate everybody joining us. Bengals fans, Steelers fans, we meet next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. I have no idea what's going to happen. Which version of the Bengals I'm going to get. A running game with deep ball threats and a defense, or ineptitude and a quarterback on the run. So we'll see. All right, guys. Appreciate you joining us tonight. Whatever you're doing this week, kick ass at it. We'll see you.